In this episode, I want to talk about playing from ahead and how to push your advantage and choke the enemies on the map, not let them any chance of playing at all. And in this game, I'm playing a Slark against Navi, and I want to show you exactly what you need to be doing the moment you get some lead. So I've been repeating a lot about you playing lanes, and that's what I want to show you right now. How do you push your advantage is by pushing lanes and not allowing people to move outside. So in this game, we're playing against Ursa, Necro and Pango, and I know that they can't really stack in formations because it's going to take them a lot of time, and Ursa is not really happy just hitting ancients, plus he had a slow start. So what I want to do is, if this was TB or a Medusa, I would have pushed to take the ancients, but in this game I know that again they catch, they don't have strong ancient farmer, so I want to take this side of the map. I want to push them to be around here, and we want to push mid lane as well. My centaur is controlling bot, but this is extra. Not every game you can control 3 lanes. So what I want to do is I want to force TPs here, and I want to play around this area because I know Ursa isn't happy just sitting in ancients, and in 5 to 10 minutes with me playing here, I'll be allowed to get Rosh, and then the game, it's a different story. So what I'm going to show you is, I know they have no catch, and I just keep playing super aggressive. I have ops as well, and by the way, when you're playing Slark, you should be carrying sentries. I wasn't carrying sentries, so that was my mistake. And again, I just want to force lanes, I want to push lanes until I see somebody reacting to this, and I know that they have no catch. So this way, I'm having a super free game, and I want to put network as well. As you can see this, just by playing lanes, we didn't even get many kills after laning stage. It's all just controlling waves. This lane is pushed, this wave is in a good spot, and I'm just being super annoying by just pushing lanes, and I'm waiting for opportunities to get kills this way. If they don't come to me, I'll just be super farmed, and in 5 to 10 minutes, game is over. The thing I was talking about in the previous episode. So just the same thing, pushing the lane, going back to jungle, creeps keeping a bit in a more aggressive spot, I'm forcing TP. Now they're getting angry because I keep doing the same thing. They don't have a choice. As you can see, they're super stuck. They had only this area to take, and they're not happy getting it, so now they're getting super angry, but they have no catch for me. So how are they gonna kill me? There is no way. They're just gonna waste time. You see, Pango using row, they're running more people, but they don't have catch. So there is no way I die in this. 4 people. Just running around. And in the meantime, I have my boy feeling happy. You have this guy farming, my position, even my support's getting a Midas because there is nobody to pressure this guy. So this is one of the most important things, and you need to realize what objectives allows you to push to the next level. So in this game I know that it's Rosh, so I want to control this side of the map, I want to control the side close to Rosh, and we don't care about ancients. As well, I'm not an ancient farmer, that's why I'm coming so deep, and that's why I just focus on farming smoke camps and not really coming to ancients, because in this game I want to leave the ancients to Lina, because she farms them way faster than a Slark, and I just want to be annoying because they can't catch me. So and by doing this, you don't feel pressure that, let's say, you feel like you're winning a lot, but you feel pressure to push tier 2 towers, or you feel pressure to go for Rosh straight away, or you feel pressure that you want to fight them because you're going to lose your advantage. No, when you're pushing lanes and when you're doing the right things, even if it takes 15, 20 minutes, these guys are going to lose with 30, 20k gold, and it's going to be so hard for them to make any comeback because you're not allowing them to play on any lanes. If a team cannot play on lanes, the game is so hard. It's almost impossible to make a comeback. We have these good ops, sentry. Even though I see this guy, I just want to be annoying because I know. You see, if it was a normal game and we were not winning so much and they had catch, I wouldn't be doing this. But right now, I realize that they have no catch, and look how annoying I am for them. It's super close to their T2 tower, they have ops, they're nearby me, and I don't care. I keep doing it. Now imagine you're the dire team, and this lane is constantly in your face. You cannot move. You cannot do any moves. It's going to be too obvious. So you have to push it, but they cannot outpush me. So they have to be group up, you see? 3 heroes. And what do? They just waste time. In the meantime, my guys are free to do whatever they want. That's how you force your advantage, always. Then all of a sudden, we find the pick off. But because we're playing lanes, again, mid lane pushed, top lane pushed, and this guy comes. The kills are always going to come. You shouldn't feel pressure to find kills. They're going to come to you. Eventually, they have to come to you. And now the moment we get the first Q that we've been waiting for, free Rosh automatically. You get one Q, you're already ahead, you're controlling waves. The wave was pushed up, this was pushed mid, go Rosh. This guy bot, we don't care about him because Ursa doesn't have any like objective damage and we don't want to lose the pressure that we've been building. In the games where you're not playing an ancient farmer and you know it's hard for you or you're going to be slow like farming ancients, you want to leave this to somebody else. And I'm a hero that doesn't die easily, so I realized that I decided that it's better to push lanes and it's better to be annoying. Because let's imagine I was farming ancients and Lina was top. Lina has like way higher chance of dying top because if Pango hits her once, Lina is dead. Like Lina is so hard to escape from a bad situation on top, but for me, I don't have any troubles doing that. And by me keeping it here, these guys lost at least 5k gold on the map. And I let my Lina farm ancients, I don't care about it, I still get super farmed. And like I said, I want to control Rosh, because for me, like I look at their lineup, I see an Ursa, right? If you're an Ursa, you want to get Aegis, or your game is so sad. Like if you don't get the first Aegis or the second one, your game is so sad, honestly. And that's what we wanted to do, we stuck them on the map, we got Aegis, simple. So now imagine we're playing still the same game and they have catch, it depends on the catch again. But obviously I have to have a sentry with me, so they don't have ops in the first place. You know, this was my mistake, even though we had one here. Imagine you drop a sentry, you make sure they don't have ops. And now again, it depends. For example, if they have a lion with blink, you can still play aggressive with Slark or with a hero that doesn't die, but the moment you see him, you have to run away. But let's say if they have like an instant jump, like a void or a disruptor, you need to take it a bit slowly. And the moment you push a lane, you go back to jungling and you take it a bit like slowly than the usual. But if they don't have this instant jump, I allow myself to go between the towers and it's all good. So we can imagine now that like, if I'm not a Slark in this game, but I'm an anti-mage, let's say, or a TB, I'll be farming more to ancients and I'm gonna wait the wave to come to this place, let's say, before I push it. But I still want to push this lane and apply pressure because in this way they cannot move on the map. It's just you need to take it a bit more like cautious. And you could wait for a key item as well. Let's say you're an anti-mage and you still want to go Rosh when you're AM, you can just wait your Manta because you're going to outfarm everyone usually, or if you're a TB, by controlling this side of the map, you're going to still outfarm them. It's just you need to wait for like key item. Could be Manta, could be SNY, could be a BKB, that's up to you, but you need to take it a bit slowly than this approach right now. So if I'm farming a border jungle, let's say I'm on this side of the map, Ursa is going to be around here, Ursa is going to be pushing this lane, and this guy, like at the start, he's going to be happier because he doesn't want to be stuck on farming just ancients. Like the best way to farm for carries, unless they farm ancients heavily, is to get lane creeps. Like they give you more gold, they give you more XP, you kill caraputs, then you go back to jungle and you apply pressure. But if you make this guy stuck to be here, it's so hard for him to come ahead of me. And if you see that, like I'm almost 2 levels ahead of this guy, even though he was AFK farming, and it's gonna keep growing and growing, and eventually you're gonna have like 5 levels ahead of this guy if he doesn't come on lane at all. Because he's not an ancient farmer. Now it's a different story. Like I said, if they had an ancient farmer, I would have decided to push this lane and come to this side of the map. But that's not the case in this game. We need to make sure that we get a tier 2 tower, because when we get a tier 2 tower, we're gonna focus on outpost, and with this way, like when you get an outpost, you can start planning how to catch the guy who's keeping, because now imagine I was doing this thing, but I decide to TP back, I lose my pressure, right? So it's hard for you to catch a guy before you get an objective. You wanna catch a guy only after you get some like kind of objective. Could be a tower, you can force maybe a fight on mid, or a fight bot, some cross move with a smoke, but it's hard for you to just TP and go here. Unless it's your support who can do it, disruptor or like some sort of catch. You don't want to waste your time by tipping here. In this game, like we were pushing 3 lanes, but this concept, this is a risky one, and we only did it for like 5 to 10 minutes until my centaur had blink. But let's say in your games, pushing 3 lanes, it's not always going to be easy, because with 3 lanes, you're going to get picked off, you're going to die, and the best way of playing Dora is controlling 2 lanes. It's safe, and you still get like 60 to 70% of the map, and you still outfarm them a lot. You control objectives and you control Rosh. So 2 waves is the best thing you can get. 3 waves, it's greedy, and it works in some rare cases where your offlaner is not gonna die. He's extremely tanky, maybe you have Timber Saw, but it's only in these cases, basically. So 2 lanes is what you want to do in every game. The moment you get some lead and you feel ahead in the game, you need to quickly realize what's the most valuable spot for the enemies. You don't care about your valuable spots anymore because you have a lead and you probably got your key items already. So you need to find what's the most valuable spot for the enemies. In this game, in Nursa's game, it's Rosh, you know, and we want to control Rosh. So that's why we're playing on the top side and we want to choke him, let him stay farming ancients. We don't care about it. But in some other game, it could be, like I said again, could be a Medusa, could be a TB. Then you want to take the other side of the map because the most valuable spot for them would be this triangle. And they could abuse ancients. Could be a mag game as well, because lately we've seen a lot of mag. Mag likes to play around this. He likes to stack. He likes to push the lane. And if you play against mag, the best way could be to come here. But not every time it's possible. So what you want to do is you just force Rosh, force them to come to you, and you do a cross move to this place. You know, this is like the more simple concept how you want to push your advantage. Well, when you're playing from ahead, like usually what you can do is first you're going to be controlling 2 waves, right? Now imagine you control the mid wave, you drop some sentries, and now you're pushing top and you're forcing them to be in this zone. How can they come and contest Rosh if you control this zone? And this zone, you basically cover all the entries and they have to smoke to you, right? But when you play from ahead, only one support can sit in front of Rosh and he's going to review the smoke. And it's almost impossible for them to fight. This is like the simple way of just controlling Rosh. If you don't push top, if you allow this lane to be here, then Rosh might be harder because they can walk around this place and they can come to you. They're going to have more entries than 0. If you're dire, let's say we're raiding this time and you're the dire team and you know that like we're losing right now 5, 6, 7k, it doesn't matter how much, but we're losing. And we know that this guy, if Slar gets edges, for instance, they're going to force high ground and they're going to get the whole map away from us. So we don't want to let them go Rosh, right? So let's say you're playing Mag or you're playing a Tibio or a Medusa, whatever. You don't want to give them this Rosh so early because you know that in the next 5, 6 minutes, you're going to lose so much gold. So you're going to have to move away from Ancients. You're going to have to try and control mid-wave. You're going to have to try and take this shit, this thing. But the thing is, you're going to lose so much gold. And this is pressure because you need to come and contest this. If you don't, you know you're going to lose almost like 10k gold. So when we're playing ahead and we want to use Rosh to force them to come to us, what we can do is, like I said again, we drop some sentries, we drop some ops, it doesn't matter so much, but we want to force them to come to us. And in some games, like we're not going to have even enough Rosh damage, might be slow, but we still want to force them to Rosh because if they come 5 heroes and like the guy who's farming Ancients comes to me, I don't care about it, I just leave Rosh and we can smoke and walk back and we can find them around here, we can find them around here. You're going to have so many places to choose from, but you force them to move away from the place that they usually like, right? Or if they don't come, you just get Rosh and you go there anyway. So in the previous episode, we showed creep skip, like a defensive creep skip when you're trying to prevent them from going high ground, right? But now we're going to use the aggressive approach of creep skipping. Now imagine you have this really hard, like you said, high ground defense. What you want to do is you need to live, like imagine we're Radiant right now. You look at this game, we control mid and we control bot. I'm going to sit around this triangle and I'm going to creep skip this side. But what you want to do is you want to leave this lane to push and you're going to leave this ops or this ops or this ops and you're going to wait for somebody to come in because you control 2 waves, creep skip all this thing, push towers, whatever. The moment you see somebody walk out, you go and catch him because this is a trap. If you push all 3 lanes, they're going to be waiting for the creeps and they're going to be farming this thing, right? So you don't really create any pressure because these guys, they just wait for creeps to come to them and they get some farm. But if you allow one lane to go, they're going to be choked on the map and they're going to have to leave. Because eventually we just control so much. We control all of this. All of this is ours. All of this is ours. And sure, you give them 1 or 2 waves. This doesn't matter. But in 10 minutes, you're going to have 15k gold. So this is like setting up a trap on the game. Imagine again, you're winning 10k and you force a few rotations to top lane, but you feel like you're strong enough and you want to take the fight. But you don't have to do it. That's the thing. You shouldn't feel rushed to finish the game just because you have some lead. You can still apply like the logic behind getting these small wins, like forcing a few TPs, running around. You still want to play the cat and mouse. You don't want to rush before you go into fights because usually you want to wait for edges or you want to wait for this like big power spike item before you go into taking these big fights. You just want to take small victories over and over and over, and eventually they're going to feel so pissed off that they're going to make a mistake themselves. You don't even need to do anything because when they're losing, they feel pressure to do anything, right? The pressure shouldn't be on you. it should be on them. Sometimes you're gonna force like still a better fight for you, and you're gonna make a 4v5 fight, but let's say you lose 3 heroes and you don't get much in return. This shouldn't discourage you that like you shouldn't do it ever again, but that's a good thing. You just probably misplayed the fight or did a few wrong things, but this doesn't mean that you should stop doing that. You should keep doing it until you get it right, until it feels natural, and until you stop making these mistakes. But this is the only way you can feel what's the limit on your, like, not only yourself, but the whole team. In this replay, I am playing a Morphling against, Hellraisers, and I'm playing against an Alchemist. So what I want to do is, I'm going to start applying pressure from the start, and I want to push my advantage as much as I can. So what happens is, first Catapult, I need to make sure that I use as much as I can, and I need to make sure that, because right now I know Auk is farming jungle, right? So I want to force Auk to move away from the jungle and to come to me. So this way I'm going to reduce his farm by just applying pressure with the Catapult, or if he doesn't come, I just get his tower. And I can throw runes this way. So he forced another TP, using the Catapult, I was getting the tower, forcing a glyph, now he comes to me. So the moment you get some advantages, if you play mid lane, you know, this is maybe a bit different from playing carry, but it doesn't matter. So the moment you get advantage, what you want to do is you want to check every single rune, you want to control every rune, and you want to control waves. Again, simple like logic. So I'm gonna get this DD. This DD is gonna allow me to take the tower, and already knowing that I can get this tower early on, I'll start like, if I take the mid Auk tower, you know, if I take the tier 1 from Auk, I can invade his jungle and I can get like the minute 10 bounty. I can stop this guy from farming, I can move to bot. I'm gonna have so many options if I just take this tower, and I'm taking this tower because first I use the Catapult, that's really important, and second you control runes. This way nothing can go wrong basically. In this scenario, like how I'm gonna push my advantage is, first I get a better matchup mid sort of, but second what I wanna do is I wanna make Auk's map smaller. This way, this is the most efficient way to push your advantage against greedy heroes. Like, I don't need to get kills, I don't need to make some fancy things happen. What you need to do is you want to make their map way smaller. So let's say you're playing against AM, TB, Duza, Auk, all these super greedy heroes. You stop them from farming and you create pressure on them by taking their map. Not by killing them or by killing like their supports or whatever, just by taking them up from them. This is the best way you play against these heroes. Me getting this tier 1 with the DD is so huge because right now I can invade this and I can stop this guy from farming. Like, this tower is everything when you play against, again, Duza, Auk, and all these greedy heroes. And I don't just farm on lanes right now. What I want to do is I take the triangle from this guy, I kick him away, I force maybe guy to TP to me. This is the most efficient way to force like reactions right now. Now I'm trying to kill him again. Look what's happening. 1 TP, 2 TPs, 4th guy coming. That's 4 heroes trying to stop you from just getting the map from Auk, because right now Auk is like, yo guys, this guy's on me. I need this triangle or I can't play. And this is gonna happen in so many scenarios against greedy heroes. They're gonna start crying the moment you wanna take the map away from them, not by killing them, again. 4 heroes rotation, wasted. This means my guy's happy, this means these guys are happy. And now, you know, it doesn't matter. Even if he's getting super farmed, it doesn't matter. Because he's gonna be alone eventually. So the most important thing about playing from ahead is quickly realizing what's the most valuable place for the enemies first. Like realizing, do you need to force rush, or do you need to take away their ancients, or do you need to just control 2 lanes? Because usually controlling 2 lanes means you control like more than 60% of the map, and eventually in 5 to 10 minutes, if they don't do anything about it, they're gonna be losing like 15 to 20k gold lead, and you know, that's already a free win. For me, those are the most important like parts of pushing your advantage. Another thing, that if they have a good high ground defense, this doesn't mean that you should go rush and push high ground anyway just because you have gold lead, because sometimes, even if you have 10k, you're gonna lose a high ground fight just because they have so much better heroes at dealing with this, right? So what you wanna do is, you wanna set an ops on 1 lane, and you want this lane to be pushed. You don't wanna touch this lane, just have an ops to see if they walk out, create a trap, and control 2 lanes again, just creep skipping and controlling 2 lanes, and just waiting your chance to come, because it's gonna come. They're gonna have to leave, unless, you know, you're just gonna keep building and building advantage until you have way more than them to go high ground, and just get rush, or whatever you choose.